Lately, I've gotten into a lot of conversations with friends about facial expressions in cartoons and drawing and animation. And I have to admit, I think I used to not really take them all that seriously because I was so focused on the storytelling aspect of what I was doing. But as time went on, I began to realize how much they can really be used to tell a story in things that you really couldn't say outright. For example, this is an old Bugs Bunny cartoon. Have a look at the way the bull's face looks after he finds out he's swallowed a shotgun. And this is another sequence that I really love from a Simpsons episode. Take a look at Bart's face in the reaction shot.
People die all the time, just like that. Why, you could wake up dead tomorrow. Well, good night.
Anyway, I am no expert at this. This isn't something that I've studied. This is just something that I picked up on. But in this video, I wanted to go through a bunch of the expressions that I use pretty often. While you're watching, just pay attention to how your perception of what the character is thinking changes with each additional line. I hope you find this interesting. So in the early days of the series, I would always draw Lev's eyes and leave them blank, kind of like that. Something about leaving them this way made him look kind of neutral. But later on, I needed a little bit more expression, and so I did start adding the pupils in, because I think this makes him look a little bit more alert. So if you want to make him look a little inquisitive, all you really have to do is something like that, and then that. And this makes him look inquisitive and skeptical. On the other hand, let's make him look like he's thinking. So you would go here, there. Somehow, it looks like that he's thinking more if you have him looking up in that direction. And then again, you can add that, and then there. And another one that I've been using a lot lately is if I want him to look really confused. So there, you'll take your pupils and you'll have them going in two directions. And if you want to make him more so, like that. An expression that I picked up from a bunch of different places is to have the eyes be sort of, the eyelids being kind of half-masked. And I picked this up from Garfield, but also the Muppets. If you do it like this, then he looks bored, he looks upset or frustrated. But you can also take that kind of eyelid and you can make somebody look incredibly insincere and sneaky. If you do this, and then you give him a big smile, then he looks sneaky and underhanded, like that. A big one that I picked up from an old Mad magazine when I was a kid, and has been sort of a kind of a mainstay of mine, is to put the stars in the eyes. I remember that, and this kind of gives a look of shallow confidence, I feel like. Or if he's being a bit of a peacock, then you just kind of that, and then you get something from that. Another one that's fun to play with is if you want him to look surprised or really alarmed, you draw the eyes larger than usual and try to make the pupils really small, and somehow that does it. And another thing I've used for drunkenness or total confusion is to just do this, and that sometimes helps. You know, if you do the mouth kind of open and then you have the tongue hanging out, And then another thing I've used to indicate drunkenness is this, and I don't remember where I got that from. It was probably like a Mad magazine or something, but this is sort of a standard drunken look. And of course, after the drunken look, you're going to need yourself the hungover look. This is a fairly fat pointed pen, so I'm going to need to use some smaller lines here. Then if you kind of like add a little bit like this, then he does look tired or hungover.